Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to make that in SolidWorks so it looks like that. Alright, so the first step was to create a sketch which marked out the distances where the salt shaker was widest and thinnest at each point in there, so that we can later drive a loft. So here I'm just creating the guide curves and throwing in a profile at the bottom at the start and a plane at each level of those, at each point where we know the width. Threw in a 8-sided polygon on each of those planes, and we're going to use the loft to drive from the circle through to the 8-sided polygons, being sure to click in the same place so we don't get that random twist sometimes if you click on the wrong part of the polygon, and using the guide curves to give a little bit more curvature. That was probably the most tricky part. Then the rest of this is throwing in a couple of chamfers on the base, because we've got like a hard edge on the base, but with glass it's always rounded. Throwing in a revolve for the neck. I did this as a solid revolve about the center. Taking my time about that. And I'll come to shell it and it wouldn't let me shell it, so I rolled back past the neck, shelled the main body, and went back and just cut through the neck. I'm not sure why it didn't want me to do it, but hey ho. We got a spiral revolve for the, what do we call this? The thread, and throwing in just a few quick materials just to see how it looks, and it looks pretty bang on what we've got, so we're happy with that. Next we're going to make the lid. It's simple, very thin piece of aluminium. Actually, looking at this, I probably could have done a little bit more detail on the holes, but it served its purpose. It looked pretty good in the end. So it was, again, a spiral, but this time a revolved cut. Sorry, not a revolved cut, a swept cut along the spiral, and using the fillets to kind of really blend it in, because it's a really subtle kind of thread on there. Creating my pattern for the holes. 6 holes cut through. It wouldn't let me shell it again, probably because of the thread again. So I did a shell without the face and cut again through the base. Apply the holes. Added chrome, too shiny, so I dulled the chrome a bit, and that looked about bang on. Now throwing it all into assembly, putting it all at the origins and mating them up so they look alright. Put in a standard environment with shadows. White wasn't showing up too good, so I usually like to use this blue background just to make glass and white things show up a bit better.
We don't want to give you that.
We don't want to give you that.
We don't want to give you that.
That wasn't good enough, so I thought I'd simulate some salt particles.
One eternity later.